opportunity that we all have. Look at all these cameras. Look at the things that we, look at the power that we have to influence and reach people, one for one. Every one of you guys. I'm sure that a lot of people that walk today barefoot are really liking their shoes. You know, we don't think of a pair of shoes as making a difference, and we also don't think that there's a way for us to provide simple things like that in a way that makes sense, in a way that we can get our heads around, a way that we have access to. If you look at Africa, we were talking on the walk with a lot of different people about what's going on in Africa. Why does that matter? Why not look at what's happening in your own hometown? There's so many issues that we can all be a part of making a difference for. Africa itself is completely unable to help itself. You know, the whole continent is broken down by issues of poverty, issues of disease. But there's so many incredible people that are working on the ground, doctors, families that are keeping that are taking care of one another and struggling to survive. And historically, if our children will ask us what happened with Africa, what happened with why we didn't decide to look at the things that we could use in the way that we could make a difference to prevent millions of kids being born with disease that they had no choice in. In a few years, you're going to have close to 25 million kids that are orphaned by AIDS in Africa. If you try and picture that, it's going to be like, yeah, it's going to be, if you imagine the island of Manhattan in New York and all the surrounding boroughs around New York, just try doubling that. Okay, that's about how many children have no families. You can imagine what it's like to take a whole continent and say, how do you deal with millions of children that have no families, that are raising themselves? And then you think about the fact that many of those kids are born with a disease that gives them an age expectancy of 3 years old. And at the same time, for 17 cents, if a mother that's pregnant, it's going to be a mother. If she takes the drugs 3 months before her child is born, if she's AIDS positive, she doesn't have to prevent, and she can prevent passing the disease on. I can't talk. 3 months before, 17 cents a day, and that will prevent the child from being born with AIDS. It's nothing. So we think of, you know, a download of a song, 99 cents, oh, that doesn't make a difference. Believe me, if 17 cents is something that makes a difference every day, 99-cent song makes a huge difference. This walk today is not about awareness. This isn't about trying to tell you guys about what's going on in Africa. This is really about us recognizing our extraordinary power to make an impact by just deciding to show up. There's so many things, so many ideas, so many opportunities that we all have, things that you guys can come to the table with that will make a huge difference, more than a pair of shoes. But that's a great place to start. We're going to mention Tom Shoes again. Tom Shoes is one partnership that we've struck up on this tour. When we started off, we said, well, how can we connect with one another and encourage one another to do something real that's not impossible, that we can all get our heads around. Let's start with shoes. Let's walk barefoot. You start to realize that a pair of shoes really, really does make a difference once you walk a mile without. Tom Shoes is an incredible company. They're a great example because they started their company with the idea of giving. They didn't say, let's wait till after we're done, succeeding, then we'll give back. Every time you buy a pair of their shoes, they donate a second pair. And through this tour, starting last fall, we've helped Tom's to give over 50,000 pairs of shoes, which is an incredible thing. What's so important about that is it's not a few people buying thousands of shoes. It's individuals buying shoes one by one. And that's really what makes such a huge difference in this whole thing. We're not going to go, all try and become humanitarians and fly to Africa and save the world on our own. But we are the most potentially powerful generation in history by deciding to use what we have. And today you guys decided to just show up, to put your feet on the ground, to walk a very hilly mile in the heat. And that's a really incredible thing. And we want to thank you guys so much for joining us. We want to encourage you guys to please come up to the table and fill your name down, because we have some really exciting things over the next year that we're hoping to tell you guys about, ways we can encourage you, things you're thinking, well, I'm scratching my head, well, what can I do? Today you can find out about Tom's Shoes. The song Great Divide is 99 cents. That'll raise money for AIDS and HIV research and treatment in South Africa. But there's so many other things that you guys have the opportunity to make a difference with. And we want to hear about those ideas, and also we want to continue to encourage you and thank you for joining us. So we're going to walk over to the table here, and we'd like for everybody to throw their name down and tell us machine making noise. It really is inspiring. So thank you guys so much for doing this with us. Say it with me now. Say,